Welcome, everybody, to another patch notes breakdown. This time we have the 11.7 Summer Rewind update, and there is a lot in store this time around here for Smite. If you like the 9.5 revert we got in 11.6, I think you're going to really like what's going on here in Summer Rewind. First off, getting some new skins for Cupid, Aphrodite, Mulan, Medusa, and Ymir. All of them look absolutely fantastic. But along with the new Medusa skin, Medusa's Deathmatch is returning. If you remember the 3v3v3 mode, it is back. Excited to be playing some of that. Joust is getting an update with some, in general, 2 XP spooling, some passive gold increase from 6 to 7, increased base gold from all camps to be 10 to 20%, minion gold increased by 10%, some enhanced buffs, a new Demon King debuff that reduces players' damage by 20% and healing by 40% for 3 seconds. There's also enhanced Bull Demon at 12 minutes. Tier 1 Tower is going to get a little bit less health, but it's going to be a little bit stronger. Phoenix is going to be a lot more tanky and does more damage, and it restores health faster. Titan's going to be a little bit more tanky at 8,500. Let's get into the items. Vamp Shroud, seeing a magical power increase by 5. Blood Soak Shroud getting a 1.2% maximum health of mana percentage instead of the 1% from the heal. Fighter's Mask, increase the physical power to 15 and magical power to 25. Protector's Mask, decrease the cost to 550. Warlock Staff, one of the few items I think is already really good, is going to get better. Increase the health from 100 to 200. I expect to see more Warlock Staff in games. Ethereal Staff, increase the buff duration from 45 to 60 seconds. And max stack is going to be at 4 now instead of 3. Canner's Cuirass. This item I think will get bought now. I hope its decreased cost is down to 1850. It already was decent. It doesn't get picked up a lot because it's so niche. I think at this price point, though, it makes it really worth for supports. Erendite can now be built on Hunters. Let's go, baby. Fail Not can now be built on Assassins and Warriors. I'm a little bit scared, but I'm so excited for this change. I think those items are going to feel really good. Let's see how it goes. Heavenly Wings gets its decreased cooldown to 120 and its upgrade down to 100. And that's for both upgrades. Cloak of Meditation, now increase the heal to 10 plus 2.5% of your missing health. That's going to carry over to its upgrades, except for the Cloak of Aesthetic is going to be 25 plus 3.5% of your missing health. So Cloak getting a little bit of love. Bracer of Radiance, increase the buff duration from 6 seconds to 8 seconds on all of them. I think this is good. Bracer we haven't seen a lot of. Maybe this brings it back a little bit. I don't know. I am excited to see Divine Barrier getting an increased deploy range, Greater Divine Barrier, and Blessed Barrier also following that deploy range. I think this is already good in non-cost quest modes. I would like to see more of it. But now let's talk about the spicy changes coming with the summer update. First and foremost, Hasten Fatalis is back, baby. Toxic Blade, out of here. We're getting Hasten Fatalis back, 2,500 gold, 100 health, 10 pin, 20% attack speed, 7% movement speed. Hitting an enemy with a basic attack grants 1 second of haste, causing you immune from basic attack. Slow penalty. I think this is going to be awesome. I'm excited to see it being built. I think this patch is going to have a ton in build diversity. I do think solos are going to be good. We'll see why here in a little bit. But obviously this builds out of Fatalis. I'm not going to get too much into that. Hasten Fatalis is going to be a fun time. Lotus Sickle now builds from Ritual Blade along with Relic Dagger. Ichabod is back. God, Ichabod being back is so much fun. Elena's Bow has been removed from the game. It wasn't getting picked up much anyway, so it's going to be 2,200 gold. It has 20 power, 25% attack speed, and 10 physical pin. And every successful basic attack increases your physical power by 5, reduces your target's physical power from items by 5, and reduces your target's magical power from items by 10 for 5 seconds. Ichabod is just a really good boxing item. It feels really good early. I'm excited to see it back. It was built a ton in duel. I really liked it in duo lane. I think there's going to be some spicy builds, especially with mannequins being able to be built by ADCs more often. We'll kind of see how this plays out. Stone Cutting Sword, also back. Hasten Katana has been removed, and this is going to be 2,300 gold, 35 power, 7% move speed. Melee basic attacks decrease enemy physical procs by 7 and increase your physical protection by 7. So those auto attack warriors are going to like this item. Ring of Hecate is back. Shoutouts to magical ADCs. You're going to lose Hasten Ring, but you're going to get a 2,400 gold item that gives you 55 magical power, 20% attack speed, 15 magical pin, and then each successful basic attack applies a hex to an enemy and empowers you, increasing your magical power by 5% and reducing the physical magical power of your opponent by 5% for 5 seconds. Magical ADCs, I think, are going to love this. I think it's going to feel good. I hope we see a little bit more magical ADCs. This always felt good building on Sol, Freya, Oleron, and Kronos. I think Kronos, watch out. That's all I have to say. Anquile is back. 2200 gold, 200 health, 45 magical procs, and 20 HP 5. Whenever you take magical damage from an enemy ability, you unleash a shockwave that silences all enemies within 30 units for 1 second. This effect cannot trigger more than once every 30 seconds. While this effect is on cooldown, you gain 20 physical power and 35 magical power. Again, Anquile is one of those items for solos. This is going to feel great because you're not only getting Anquile back, you're going to be getting, you guessed it, Nemean Lion back. 2450 gold, 200 health, 50 physical procs, 20 HP 5, and it reflects 15% of all basic attack damage back at the attack for physical damage. Kuzumbo mains, rise up. I think this is going to be really good. We're going to see a ton of it. And I'm a little scared as an ADC player. We are getting a new shield called Shield of the Phoenix. Builds from Fortress Shield, which is the new item above. 2350 gold, 250 health, 30 physical procs, 20 HP 5, 10% cooldown reduction. Anytime you hit an enemy god with an ability, you are healed for 2% of your maximum health and mana. This is kind of fun because this goes that Cursed Weaver route, but it's, for physicals. I'm really, really liking this idea. We're going to see how it feels. I'm a big, big Cursed Weaver fan, so I'm kind of seeing how this plays out for Shield of the Phoenix. Shifter Shield also makes a return. 2400 gold, 300 health, 30 physical magical procs, 20 HP 5, and while over 75% health, you gain 30 physical power and 45 magical power. While under 75% health, you get 20 protections. Let's talk about some nerfs for gods. Medusa getting nerfed, as she should. Medusa is absolutely insane right now, as are most ability hunters. I think ability hunters are probably maybe even better after this patch. Viper Shot decreased the damage, increased the cooldown. Acid Spray decreased the damage, and Petrify decreased the damage and increased the cooldown. So watch out for that. Medusa, I have a video coming out about her later this week from this current patch going into tomorrow's new patch. So check that out. She does a lot of damage. She was really, really good. This nerf is absolutely justified. Mulan, also someone that needed a nerf. Spear Thrust decreased the damage per hit, and it decreased the bonus damage. Grapple, going to see an increased cooldown. Now going to be scaling from 15 down to 13 seconds. And Divine Mastery decreased the sword damage. So Mulan getting a healthy nerf here. She has been really, really strong. In fact, I just ban her every ranked game, so I don't have to deal with her, even though I'm playing ADC. Kakulain, I think is going to be good coming through this patch, so getting a nerf ahead of time is probably for the best. Barb Spear decreased the damage, increased the cooldown, and then Spear of Mortal Pain and Warcry getting decreased damage and increased cooldown as well. He was already in a pretty good spot. He's going to feel better tomorrow. I expect to see a lot of Hercules and Kuzumbos with the new changes, so Kakulain getting a little bit of a nerf here. Not too surprising. Nuwa, also one of those top picked gods. Clay Soldiers decreased the protection reduction per stack, and then Shiny Metal increased that cooldown to 9 seconds. Nuwa getting that slight little adjustment. I think she's really good in non-conquest modes. She's been doing okay in conquest as well. Giannis seeing a little bit of a nerf here as well. Decreased the damage on Unstable Vertex, and then decreased the scaling on Threshold. Agni, another just kind of mainstay of mages. Not too surprised to see him being nerfed here. He's been picked up a ton as of late. Combustion decreased the damage scaling down to 6%. Flame Wave increased the cooldown, and Rain Fire decreased the damage. Is this going to keep people from playing Agni? No. Is this going to make them a little bit easier to deal with? Absolutely. Geb. Shockwave decreased the damage. Stone Shield decreased the shield, and then Cataclysm decreased the damage. A little bit surprised to see the Geb nerf here. Bacchus, Belly Flop increased the cooldown. Belch of the Gods increase the cooldown, and Intoxicate increase the cooldown. So just getting a cooldown nerf across the board here. Thanatos, that feast or famine god that kind of pops off in the jungle from time to time. His Death Sight's going to see decreased damage and increased cooldown. And then Son of Death's going to see decreased pin. I do think Thanatos is in a pretty good spot. In non-conquest modes, he's felt really, really good. The TTK adjustments obviously helped him, so him getting a little bit of a nerf is pretty justified. Thor, they're going to decrease his base health to 460. Berserker's Brock gets increased cooldown. Anvil Dawn gets a decreased damage and decreased arc damage. So Thor getting a little bit of a nerf. Again, one of those mainstay kind of pick or ban gods. Not too surprised to see that. Buffs. Hades. Pillar of Agony. Decreased the cooldown. It's now going to be scaling 90 down to 70. Kronos. He gets base health at 425 now. His physical procs are going to be at 13. Accelerate decreased the cost to 60 at all ranks and decreased the cooldown to 12 seconds. That's pretty Pretty good buff for Kronos. Cabrakan seeing a buff as well. Decrease the cooldown of Seismic Crush. Refraction Shield getting increased protection, so we might see some more Cabrakan. Curse Weaver Cabrakan, where you at? Ymir getting a buff and a new skin. Just throwing it out there. Frostbite increase the damage dealt debuff to 15%, and Frost Breath decrease the cooldown to 14 seconds at all ranks. Love seeing Ymir buffs, and we'll see how that plays out for him. Yamoja getting buffs. That we don't see this too often. So I'm excited to see Yamoja buff. She's a fantastic support to play. Omni increased bake attack healing per level to 0.4. Riptide increased the slow to 15%, and River's Rebuke decreased the cooldown. Now scales 140 down to 120. So I expect to see more Yamoja. Fafnir getting some love. Chorus decreased the cooldown from now going to scale 16 down to 14, and Draconic Corruption increased the duration. Now scales from 40 to 60 seconds. Erlang Shang, the turtle, now knocks up enemy gods on hit. Erlang truthers, it is time. Rise up. Erlang will be back, baby. Chalk, Thunderstrike increased the damage. Rain Dance decreased the mana to 75 at all ranks. Stormcall increased the damage. Chalk's gonna be feeling better. Nox getting a buff. I know that's scary for some people. I love Nox, so I'm okay with it. Flame of the Night increased magical power down to per stack by 5%. Increased the damage scaling of Siphon Darkness. And Shadow Step decreased the mana cost to 75 at all ranks. Set getting some buffs. Let's go, baby. Love Set. Relentless. Increased attack speed per stack up to 3%. And Kingslayer getting a decreased cooldown, now scaling 90 to 70 seconds. Maman Brigitte getting Party Trick. Increased healing from item procs to 100%, was 25%. Major buff there for Maman Brigitte. Izanami getting a buff. Death Draws Nigh increased the pin to 4%. And Dark Portal increased the silence duration. Newt getting Crashing Comet increased damage, and Warp getting decreased cooldown. I think 12 seconds for Warp is massive. Absolutely needed for Newt. So Newt getting a really nice buff there. Ratatasker getting just changes to all the acorns. They're all getting buffed. All getting buffed across the board. Might see some more Rat. Raw increased health per level to 71. Divine Light increased the damage scaling to 70%, and Solar Blessing decreased the cooldown. It's now going to be 15 scaling down to 13 seconds. So some good changes here in this patch. Really excited to see it. I hope you guys are ready for this summer rewind. I hope to see you in Medusa's Deathmatch. I hope to see you out there on the battleground. Let me know what you think of the changes below, what items you're thinking about building. If you have some spicy builds, throw them my way so I can build them. Like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. And, check me out on Smite Game or twitch.tv/BlazeMcBain. See y'all later.